Hey everybody, Mr. Cos here. Got another question, and this question is about moms and their daughters. Not just any relationship about moms and daughters, but a specific one, moms and their oldest daughters. Here we go. Why do oldest daughters and moms always fight and have a hard time getting along? A lot of my friends say they have the same problem with their mom. Well, to the young woman who sent in this question, I am so happy you asked this question because this question is something that I can knock out the park, meaning I talk about this every single day. In fact, I've been talking about this every day for many years. And here's what I found out. In my counseling private practice, 8 out of every 10 teenage girls or even young adult women that I counsel just happen to be the oldest daughter of their family. Ironic? Coincidental? Not quite. Let me give you a quick history. When I was in graduate school in psychology, I learned something that stuck with me. In fact, this was one of the 3 things I still remember from $65,000 of graduate school, but don't get me started on that. Okay, continue. Okay, moving on. This thing was very, very intriguing to me. So the class was about family relationships. More importantly, we were talking about how important birth order is in families. And when they got to the oldest child, they called the oldest child something very unique. So to give you a little example, the youngest child they called like the comedian, the joker. They said the youngest child is born into a family, looking at everybody else in the family, and they're saying, wow, this family's pretty stressed out. Everybody needs to calm down a little bit. So they become comic relief. If you're the youngest child, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're burping, you're farting at the dinner table, you get away with murder because you're the youngest child. You're just trying to get everybody to relax and chill out for a little bit. The oldest child, however, though, they said plays 2 different roles. They are the hero and they are also the black sheep. And I remember sitting there going, the hero and the black sheep? How could you be both? Well, my professor went on to explain. He said the oldest child of the family, specifically the same-sex oldest child, so daughter and mother, father and son, they have this unique relationship with their parents because they are 2 different roles in the family where all the other kids are 1 role. Here's why the oldest child is called the hero and the black sheep. That's because some kids that are the oldest child look at their family. In this case, let's talk about a daughter. The daughter looks at her family and says, wow, my family has a lot of issues and they could benefit from making some serious changes. Some of those daughters are going to try to do everything they can to help the mother. They feel that if they could just help their mother out, help their family out, their family would be better off. And so that oldest daughter takes on a hero role. Now, some oldest daughters, they look at the family, they try to help out the family, but then they come to a conclusion that my family's not listening to me, so why even try? Now, subconsciously, they don't know that they're about to become the black sheep, but what they start to do actually gets attention for their family to get help. They start to do things that the mother and the family would not approve on and ultimately can embarrass and make the family ashamed. So the oldest daughter, when they're the hero, they're trying to help out the family. When they're the black sheep, they're saying, I'm going to throw myself underneath the bus. I'm going to run away, have issues with drugs, get in trouble, and do all these things to get my family help. Because technically, both of those can help the family. They're just totally 2 different approaches. Now, I'm not saying that the oldest daughter intentionally tries to say, here's my plan. I'm going to rob a bank just to embarrass my family so they got to go to counseling. That's not what I'm saying. It's totally subconscious. They don't realize that they're doing it. But if you think about it, if you try to help your family and your family's not entertaining that or understanding that you're trying to help them, you're going to get angry and you're going to get upset. And so one thing you could do is say, forget them. I'm going to go off and do my own thing, which in many times can make the family upset, angry, and even embarrassed. There's a little bit more I'd like to share about the background of this relationship. I'm going to talk about when you were born. In this question, I'm going to be talking about the oldest daughter and mother relationship, but you can take this information and use it for the oldest son and the father relationship. But because the question talked about the daughter, I'm going to use the daughter as the example. So all you oldest daughters out there, listen up. When you were born, actually back up a little bit further. When your mom first found out that she was having her first daughter, there was lots of excitement. There was lots of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have my baby girl, I'm gonna have my mini me. And so, like any good mom, when she's preparing to have a daughter, she's gonna start looking for like clothes, start thinking about things she wants to get for a crib, stuff like that. But something happens deep in their psyche that the mother has no idea. The mother starts to go through her memories of her life, all the things that she wishes she would have done differently. All the things she wishes she was confident and secure about. All the things that she wishes she could take back because she regretted, mistakes or choices she made in her life. And the mom says, I need to make sure my daughter doesn't make any of those mistakes, doesn't follow the pathways of things that I do not like about myself. And I got to make sure that my daughter does all the things about myself that I'm okay with, is interested in the same things that I'm interested in, and most importantly, that my daughter becomes a 2.0 better version of me. Now, during that 9 months of pregnancy, this is what's going through the mom's mind, whether she realizes it or not. And while she's thinking about these things, she starts coming up with plans how she can protect you from being like the parts about herself she doesn't like, and she can also connect with you so that you guys are interested in the same things. Once you're born, though, something drastically changes. She holds you in her arms for the very first time. She looks at you, and for the first time in her life, she sees a mirror of herself. Yes, that's right. Your mom gets to see herself for the first time in another human being's body. And it is glorious. Your mom is so happy to see you, not just because she's been waiting so long to meet you, but she's also happy to see you because she's actually seeing herself. But even better than that, she's seeing a perfect version of herself. Now, I don't know if you know this about your mom, but your mom has what's called, starts with an I, insecurities, self-doubt. When your mom is looking at you as a baby, all those insecurities, all the self-doubt gets thrown out the window, and she's like, oh my gosh, I made something so amazing, so perfect. Maybe I'm not that bad. Maybe there's something good about me. If I could create something so perfect, maybe I can be better than I thought I was. Or maybe I am better than I thought I was, or what people might have told me. At that moment, something really interesting that happens that creates all this contention in the relationship. The mom says, okay, I love this feeling. Of course, I want to keep this feeling. I don't want to let go of this feeling, of feeling this connected to my daughter. So what do I have to do to make sure I never lose this feeling? Then she gets it. If she feels great right now because she's looking at a perfect version of you, then the mom has a genius idea. All she has to do is keep you perfect. That's where the problem begins. Moms at that moment start to create this perfect version of themselves. You know those little pictures when you're 1 or 2 years old? You're like, Mom, why did you dress me in that little outfit that looks horrible and disgusting? And your mom's like, well, I thought it was so cute, and we're gonna take pictures together and be like twinsies and matching. Okay, this is what goes through moms' minds. But as you get to about 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, and even 5 years old, your cuteness and your perfection starts to wear away. You start to learn how to talk, and you start to do something called lying. Not cleaning up after yourself when you eat or when you make a mess. Then you start to get a little bit older, and you're definitely not cute anymore. You're kind of a pain in the you-know-what sometimes. Not that your mom doesn't love you, but all that little childish perfection starts to fade away. Now, because you're your mom's firstborn daughter, you have inside information about her. You've been with her longer than any other girls in the family. Even if there's 9 girls behind you, you are the one that's been around your mom the longest. You are her ride or die, her little wing woman. You've been with her since day one. In fact, some moms, when they first have their oldest daughter, they might be like 21 years old. By the time you're a teenager, so fast forward 13 years later, your mom is in her 30s. She's not even really the same person anymore. Your mom might have made mistakes in her 20s, and you might be the only person that knows those secrets. So imagine when you become a teenager, you start to look at your mom and you start to say, gosh, my mom's unhappy. She's unfulfilled. She's unsatisfied in her life. And because I've been around her for so long, I know I'm going to bring up all the things that I remember, all the mistakes she's made, all the times that she slept in, all the times that she cut corners, all the things that my mom does that are bad habits that make her unhappy. Maybe she eats too much. Maybe she watches too much TV. Whatever it is that you notice that your mom is doing that's causing her to not feel good about herself or to not be successful in any way, shape, or form in her life, as you become a teenager, you start to bring those things up to your mom. And guess what? She doesn't want you to bring them up to her. In fact, she wants you to keep those things a secret and don't bring them up at all, because that would expose her and her vulnerabilities that she wasn't wanting to think about or wanting to talk about. This leads me into a very important topic. In fact, it's a pretty big word, so get ready. It's called a symbiotic relationship. Now, the term symbiotic comes from biology. In short, what this means is that there's a connection between two organisms where they're linked together. What affects one affects the other. So what I'm talking about is when your mom is feeling stress, anxiety, worry, anything that's troubling to her, you are going to feel it yourself. Your siblings may not feel it. And you can relate to this if you've ever had a great day at school and you come home, you walk through the door, and right when you walk through the door, your mom's a mess. She's angry, upset, whatever it may be. She's having a horrible day. You, unlike the other siblings, goes, oh my gosh, mom's having a bad day. What do I do? Quick, I gotta clean. What do I do? Like, what's going on? Your good day that you're having just went. You're not allowed to have a good day. You're not allowed to be in a good place if your mom is on the high Richter scale freaking out about something. Your other siblings may look at mom and be like, mom's just freaking out, whatever, and they don't care and they just walk away. In fact, she may not even ask your other siblings to help her with it, but she's gonna ask you. You're gonna feel that stress, that anxiety. But it also goes the other way. If you come home and you've had a horrible day and your mom's like happy and everything's going great, as soon as you walk in the door, if your day's off, your mom's attention gonna go to you, and next thing she starts feeling your anxiety. She starts freaking out. Now, she doesn't know why you're having a bad day. Just like if she was having a bad day and you just came home, you wouldn't know why your mom was having a bad day, but in a symbiotic relationship, it's as if it's happening to you. That transfer of energy is so intense, it's so powerful. You get angry at her if she's having a bad day because now your good day is gone, or the potential of you having a good day is gone. This is how a lot of fights start out between moms and their oldest daughters. With the mother-oldest daughter relationship, there's something that has been around you your whole entire life to tell you that this relationship is something that every family that has a mom and oldest daughter experiences. In fact, it's such a common relationship that there's one specific company out there that has made billions of dollars off the mother oldest daughter relationship, also off the father oldest son relationship. The name of that company is Disney. That's right. Have you ever heard of a movie, called Frozen? Yes, Frozen. The root of the story, the narrative is really about this oldest daughter. Remember, conceal, don't feel. Her parents died. And by the way, don't act like you haven't watched Frozen. I don't care who you are. You could be an emo teenager, black hair in your face, wearing black, all over your body. You could be any type of teenager. You know you saw Frozen even if you didn't like the movie. And if you did like the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When her parents died, one of the last things that her parents told her to do was to conceal, don't feel. They didn't want her to hurt the little sister like she did when they were younger. So she locked herself up in her room and she took one for the team. She would be considered in that whole entire movie the black sheep, like I talked about earlier in this video. Now, obviously, Elsa was not a black sheep. She was doing this to protect her family and to help her family, but it looked like she was the evil ice queen when she started freezing everything and everybody started freaking out and she froze the whole entire kingdom. So Disney has made a lot of money off of this relationship because it's so powerful. In fact, in history, mother's oldest daughters, father's oldest sons have always been so unique that it didn't matter if countries never even knew that these other countries existed. They all had something in common. In China, in India, all the countries throughout the world, who is the rightful heir to the throne if it's a queen? Her firstborn daughter. Who's the rightful heir to the throne if it's a king? His firstborn son. Now you would think, well, if you want a successful kingdom and there's a bunch of kids, why don't you pick the kid who's the smartest, the prettiest, or the best warrior, or who's ever the best at finances. Only the oldest daughter, and like I said, the oldest son, are the only person or only people in the family that have a symbiotic relationship with their same-sex parent. This relationship is like half player, half coach for you oldest daughters and oldest sons out there. Yes, you are a child of the family, but really you're kind of part parent. How many diapers have you changed with your younger siblings? How many times have your parents asked you to do things that they never asked the younger siblings? A lot of the younger siblings, when I counsel them, they'll say things like, my oldest sister, the older sister in my family, she's perfect. I can't live up to her standards. Or my older brother, he gets all the attention because he's always getting in trouble and he's got a drug addiction. Guess what's going on? That hero and black sheep is going on. You may be jealous if you're a younger sibling of that older relationship of the firstborn daughter with the mother, but be really careful what you wish for. The oldest daughter and the oldest son are stressed. They have the whole entire family's name and to honor their family and to make their family proud and all these things on their shoulders. And sometimes they just want to tap out and be like, I'm done. And other times they're like, I got to save my family. So that's why this relationship is so complicated. I know there's a very long answer to that question, but this question is deep. You oldest daughters out there, if you relate to this, please make a comment. I can give you details and more information about what to do about this relationship, how to improve that relationship. But if Disney made billions of dollars off this relationship, that means it's pretty big, it's pretty important, and a lot of people can relate to it. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. And if you liked it and it gave you some interesting ideas about how to deal with the drama in your life, like, subscribe, share, shoot, you know what to do. And if you want to raise your hand to ask the teacher a question, simply put your question in the comment box. Thanks for watching, Mr. Cos.